Cumbria and Lancashire have been shaken by an earthquake which measured 3.7 on the Richter scale. The epicentre of the quake was Ulverston, but it was felt by people in Fleetwood, Heysham, Carnforth, Morecambe and Lancaster. It struck at 11:30 this morning, and police and the fire service have had calls from dozens of people. Lynn Brennan from Cartmel felt the quake and said she was terrified.
As I got to the top of the stairs, the house just shook completely, and one almighty, it sounded like an explosion. And I thought, well, get out, just get outside. So I ran outside. As I ran outside, all my neighbours ran outside as well, and we all just looked at each other and said, what was that? Absolutely terrified. Every one of us was just shaking, feeling sick, because initially we didn't know what it was. You know, I mean, I just stopped shaking about 5 minutes ago.
Well, our reporter Abby Jones has been following the story, and she's with me now. And Abby, we've had lots of emails in from viewers, and did they say they were as frightened as Lynn appears to have been?
Well, yes, like Lynn, they were saying they were very shaken because they just didn't know what this was. I had an email from Dorothy Parkinson-Robbie from Brooklands near Kendal, and she said that she thought a tractor had driven into her barn or that gas cylinders had blown up. And Carol and Jeff Morris from Blackpool said they thought a lorry had struck their hotel. In Lancaster, Louise Wheatland said the quake shook their whole physics building. We've had reports of some damage to a school in Milnthorpe. So lots of buildings shaking, but thankfully no other damage.
Well, I mean, earthquakes aren't unknown in the northwest. I remember a whole newsroom shaking for about a minute not that many years ago. How did this one compare?
Yeah, that was a few years ago. Manchester has had quite a lot of earthquakes. In particular, last February, there was one that was 5.2 on the Richter scale, so that's a lot stronger than this one. And Lynn was saying there had been a couple in Cumbria about a year ago and 16 years ago, but nothing so strong. But the British Geological Survey say this was between weak and largely observed, so things were kind of swaying around, buildings shaking, but it wasn't that frightening. But I think a lot of our viewers today will disagree.
I'm sure they will. Abby, thanks very much for that.